Thank you for tuning in to Journey to Wholeness Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. My name is KJ Gages, and I am this afternoon's host and the founder and owner of the Journey to Wholeness Center. And I would like to thank you all for tuning in this afternoon. So before we get started with our very exciting show, any show that we're going to be talking about money and investments is a good show. But before we get to that, I would like to thank my sponsor, which is Conscious Community Magazine. This is a magazine dedicated to elevating consciousness. It is America's oldest spiritual and metaphysical magazine. It can be picked up at several different distribution centers, including our own at the Journey to Wholeness Center, 9501 New England Avenue in Oakland, Illinois. So you can also go online if you prefer to read it online. It's consciouscommunitymagazine.com. I can honestly say they have some of the most fascinating articles about meditation, articles about enlightenment, articles about up-and-coming health and wellness events, and articles about astrology, tapping, any type of holistic wellness topic. They do lots of articles and information about those things, as I said, as well as many events that are going on in the community that really focuses on us becoming more conscious and more aware of the things that we are trying to do in terms of setting goals, in terms of our spiritual aspirations, etc. So please, if you haven't picked up a Conscious Community magazine, please do so, as you will see a lot of information in there about Journey to Wholeness Center as well. So thank you, Conscious Community magazine. So today's topic, financial wellness in 2017, protecting your family assets and legacy, which is very, very critical. So today I have with me a very, very special guest, someone who is very near and dear to my heart, just a true gem, LaShondra Harmon. Hi. So LaShondra is a certified life insurance producer, and she is also the president and founder of the Association of Financial Mommies Incorporated. The reason why I asked LaShondra to be on the show is because the one thing that we talk about a lot on Journey to Wholeness Radio is we like to talk about health, healing, and wellness topics. I even did a show about manifesting more money and manifesting prosperity. The reason that that is so very important is because what you find is that people who are always struggling to make ends meet, people who have lost loved ones and can't afford to continue their lifestyle as normal, these things are things that at the end of the day begin to impact our overall physical health and wellness. So a lot of relationships, I talk about this all the time, a lot of relationships break up because of money, because of finances. So it is a subject that we need to talk about more often. It is a subject that we need to get very smart about, a subject that we need to get more knowledge and more information about, because it's more to it than just going to work every day, getting a paycheck, and then just spending it all. We need to talk about ways to invest, ways to save, ways to protect our family, and ways to protect our assets, which is the reason why I asked Miss Harmon onto our show. And I have to say, the guests that I tend to, or that I like to bring onto the show and work with, they truly have a passion for what it is that they do. And LaShondra is no different. We talk hours and hours and hours just about financial independence, about entrepreneurship. So she is definitely the real deal. She definitely practices what she preaches, and she has just this amazing, candid passion for what it is that she does. So I thank you so much for being a guest on our show this afternoon.
I'm just ecstatic that you even thought of me. I am so grateful because, just like you said, I am so very passionate about people's financial statuses as far as the legacy building and the financial wellness of people's families. Being a single parent, my legacy is so important to my children. So
Absolutely.
I talk to a lot of women who are the breadwinners, and I'm just trying to help them, leave that great legacy for their kids. A lot of people think because you're a single parent that your children should suffer because of its non-traditional household, but at the same time, it doesn't have to.
Not at all.
All it takes is some structure, goal setting, and man, doing it.
And just doing it. And I can attest to that, being a single mom myself. It just really is about that. It's as simple as that. Setting the goals, following a plan,
Yes.
and just doing it, not complaining about it, not waiting on, this man to come and just give you all of this health and wellness. And, it tends not to work out that way.
No, it does not.
So you really do have to be prepared. So tell me all about the Association of Financial Mommies, your baby, your company.
Oh my God.
What was it, the principles it was founded on? What made you pull together this concept of, and I absolutely love it, of financial mommies?
Well, you know what? Of course, I'm a mom, so that was it in itself. But I had a few incidents in my life that really pretty much catapulted me into insurance and financial services. My background, I've been in financial services over 15 years. I'm a former salon owner, so I went into mortgages and real estate because at the time I had my daughter and then I had my son. And I said, well, Lord, I have to find a way for me to make as much money, still be able to help people, but then be able to spend more time and be a mom to my children. So I went into mortgages and real estate. And while I was in that industry, the boom happened or whatever. And my mother has been in insurance since before I was born. So I'm 45, so my mommy's been in insurance since she was 19 years old. So she's always been adamant about finances, having your business in order, your affairs in order. So my cousin passed away at 36 years old, and she had life insurance. She had a lot of things together, but then I saw where I know her and I still feel her spirit. Things didn't go as I know she would have planned them to go in, once she passed away. So that was one of the things. And then my grandmother passing away and not having enough insurance put in place to take care of her, long-term care insurance. If she had had a long-term care policy, she may have lived longer. I would have been able to put her into a better facility that would have taken care of her better versus one where we had to deal with public aid and stuff like that because you don't have those type of insurances in place. So I saw this as, this is my way to talk to my people. I have to let this information be known. You have to know about certain things, have these things in place. The wealthy do this stuff. It's inbred in them. Why it's not inbred in us? So I said, okay, well, you know what? Hey, I got to do this. I got to put this together, talk to people, let them know that, hey, there are things you can do to help your family's longevity, help your family's legacy, generational wealth. These things are just like totally missing from our generation right now. So I said, hey, the Association of Financial Mommies. I have good friends that are in banking. I have girlfriends who all own their own businesses, all different types. So I'm like, hey, financial mommies, I'm about to do this. I'm about to educate, and I'm going to stand tall and give them what I got. So I said, hey, I learned the most about life insurance because, hey, it's the silent generational wealth builder people don't think about. And I said, let me educate and show people. I'm not a policy pusher. I don't push life insurance policies. I push education about life insurance. I can't beg anyone to get life insurance. And it's not a thing where, I try to explain to people, I'm not here to make a buck off you. I'm not here to do anything because at the end of the day, I'm insured. My children are insured. My mom's insured. Everyone in my family's insured. So I can't get angry if people don't get insurance. So, I mean, I'm insured. So I can't make people understand the value in having it just in place so that that financial burden isn't left on your kids, when you do, when the inevitable does happen, because I mean, we only live once.
Yeah. And inevitable will happen.
Yeah.
I too used to be in a life insurance producer and a financial planner and an investment broker. That was my first career. So I truly do understand the importance. And I also understand that sometimes it is so very difficult to get the people who really need the insurance. The one thing that I learned in doing insurance, it really was a safeguard against your ability to bring home income. It protected, it was an income protector. It protected that income. If anything happened to you, your children, they still have to eat, they still have to go to school, they still have to have a roof over their head. So it was a way to protect your assets, to protect your income. And the people who needed it most were the people who always said, well, I can't afford it, or I can't, it's not for me. And as you said, it is something that the wealthy, that's something that they automatically do. But then you look at our community who truly, truly needs it. And, as you said before,
they look at it more of an expense.
As an expense
versus
or
an
bill.
asset. Life insurance is an asset depending on what type of insurance you choose to go with. You have the different types. You have your term, you have your whole life, and then you have your universal life policies. Those three things, actually, to me, you should have all three, me personally. The term is for that temporary need. If you have a home or if you have a business, Lord forbid something happens to you, you want your babies or your family to be able to continue living in their home or continue taking care of that business. And then you have that whole life policy, which is pretty much your investment, and your UL, which is that investment, because that's where your income is protected as well, even with the temporary policies, because of the simple fact they're permanent. They're growing anywhere from, depending on a company that you choose to purchase with, 2.5 to 4%. The company I work with, a whole life policy grows at 4% guaranteed. You can't beat that, which is one of the top in the industry. So, that's very, very important. So it's always good to actually sit down with someone that has a good financial background that really looks out for what's important. Not so much as what I can tell you to get, but what your family truly needs for them to stay stable. If something happens.
Financial.
Exactly.
To really sit down and assess their financial situation.
In case something does
So
happen.
what are some of the things that you hear on the streets in terms of working with individuals, and why is insurance such a taboo subject, especially when it comes to life insurance? I hear all the time, where I used to hear all the time in the field, oh, well, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about dying. I'm like, but you're going to. So what are some of the things that you tend to hear about life insurance, and what are some of the things that you kind of combat those objections, those myths, those fears about obtaining life insurance?
Well, a lot of times I hear the young people, oh, I don't need life insurance. I'm too young for that. I remember encountering a young man. He was 27. He was working, no kids, had bought a condo. He was a little broker or whatever. He was making money. I don't need any life insurance. I'm healthy. I said, but you have a business. I said, you have a condo. I said, do you know that in the event something happens to you, what do you think is going to happen to all your bills and all of that stuff? Your parents, they're going to encounter all of that. They're going to inherit all of your debt. They're going to have to try to go after somebody. They're going to harass someone to get their money for the property and stuff like that. So why not have something in place so that way, guess what? Your parents can keep that. They know you worked hard to buy that. So why not have the money to pay it off, and then they can rent it out and say, well, what, my son or my daughter purchased this and we want to keep it in the family, or, look at it as an asset versus you passing away, and then and then your parents have to try to bury you. And we live here in Chicago, where I mean, oh my goodness, I don't even want to get into that. But I just think having something in place is good, no matter what age you are. And then you hear, I can't afford it. Life insurance costs what you want it to. And as simple as that. Life insurance costs what you want it to. You tell me, or you tell your advisor or your financial rep what your budget is. I can only afford $50 a month. And guess what? They're going to sit down, do an analysis with you. They're going to tell you what you actually need in comparison to all of your assets. But at the same time, the right person, the right advisor, the right financial rep is going to sit down with you and say, Miss such and such or Mr. such and such, you can only afford $50 a month. Guess what? You can purchase up to $100,000 or whatever it is, something to get that insurability in place. That way, while you're healthy, you can get insurability in place. And then once your income goes up higher, you can purchase more insurance. And then I always hear that, well, I don't want to talk about that. Just like you said, it's taboo. I don't want to get any life insurance on my kids. That means that they may pass away. Life insurance is not an expense. It's not taboo. It is, like I said, the silent wealth builder. Who doesn't want to put something into something for their kids that grows at 4%? You can't get that in a bank. You can't even get that in a CD.
Right.
No instrument that's guaranteed.
Absolutely.
That's fixed. You can't get that. So, those are the ways that I sit down with them. I let them know, don't always look at life insurance as an expense. It's an asset. It contributes to your net worth.
Absolutely. And a point that you brought up that's very valid, especially for young people, for people in their 20s who are saying, well, I don't need it, I'm healthy. You won't always be in your 20s. And if you can invest in a life insurance policy while you're in your 20s and it's dirt cheap,
yes,
then once you become in your 30s and you have your family and you're building more assets and you're building more wealth, at least you'll have that foundational policy or that foundational plan in place where it is accumulating value, where if anything does happen, you are insured. I find this happens all the time. This has even happened in my own family where, I mean, as we begin to get older, we get into our 40s and we get into our 50s, and now we're starting to think about mortality. Now we're starting to think about our families. Now we're starting to think about leaving a legacy for our children, and we're thinking about, what about my final expenses? But by now, we may be dealing with health issues. We may be dealing with heart issues, and at that time, insurance does get, it does go up based upon your health. So now you're looking at having these issues of being able to be insurable, whereas you could have gotten these policies a lot sooner and a lot earlier, knowing that, you one day will not be here and you have a need to protect your assets, to protect your family. So that's the one thing that I strongly encourage, especially young people, is to begin looking at those life insurance policies. When I first got my life insurance, I was in my 20s. I didn't have a single kid. I didn't own any property, anything, but I knew that eventually one day, and my insurance is locked in for like 40 years, something like that, where I pay the same amount for 40 years until you can build and accumulate that wealth. The only people who can absolve themselves of having insurance, although they still do, are the wealthy, because they can self-insure. But for us, it's mandatory. It is completely mandatory.
And then the caveat also with the wealthy, there are a lot of wealthy who they believe in life insurance, but then there are a lot who don't because they feel like, I can pay for my own or whatever. But what you have to understand is when you are wealthy, guess what you have? You have an estate. Every person has an estate. When you pass away, guess what? That estate, whether it's your money in your bank or your property, those things are being assessed, and they assess estate taxes on them for your family to even get them. So if you have a life insurance policy in place, it can take care of the estate taxes. Your babies don't have to sell off anything. I always use the story about the Chicago Cubs. Why the Wrigley family doesn't own the Chicago Cubs. The kids had to sell the Wrigley Field. They had to sell all of those things that their father worked hard to get because he didn't believe in life insurance. Had he believed in life insurance, guess what? The Wrigleys may have still owned the Cubs or all of the different things that their father worked hard to build that big estate. Those estate taxes will wipe your family out if you don't have a surplus. Why not have $1 million in life insurance to pay estate taxes when that way your kids can can continue running the family businesses, keep your money in your bank, all of your assets, versus having to divvy down, divide and try to take care of this and take care of that. Why not have your affairs in order totally? It's missing. And it's really heartbreaking sometimes to see people. That's where the probate come in. That's where the lawyers tell you, well, this is tied up in probate because ABC not on this paper. If you want grandma, if something happened to you, you say you want, if grandma wants Susan to have her diamond earrings, it's in the will and the trust. Those are two things that are important that you should have when you're getting all of your affairs in order. So, all of those things go together. And like I said, hence that's what pushed me into doing the Association of Financial Mommies, because it's just education, it's just sharing. Nothing wrong with sharing to make people better.
Absolutely.
You can't hoard information and not do anything with it.
And the thing about it is that a lot of people just don't have the information. So I found that in doing financial planning is that a lot of people don't have the information. They don't know anything about life insurance, which brings me to another question for the audience. So we talk about term life insurance, we talk about whole life, we talk about universal life, we talk about annuities, and there are so many various life insurance products that are out there on the market that sometimes it can get confusing in terms of, okay, well, what's best for me? So if you can just, give us just a few sentence blurb on what some of the more popular life insurance products are.
Well, most often what I talk to my clients about is pretty much the circle. You have your temporary need as well as your permanent need. Like I said, the term life is for the temporary need. You don't want to have a mortgage for forever. At least you don't intend to. Most mortgages are 20 years, 30 years. So you have your term policy, which is pretty much like your mortgage protection. Or you have a business with a partner or something like that. There goes the key man insurance. That can be a term policy, which is an expensive, $1 million, because if the partner, something happens to them, guess what? They were a great component to the business. So if something happens to them, that need needs to be replaced. So that's where the term comes in. And then, like, if you're like me, I'm 45. I have a son who's 14. If something was to happen to me today, my son still has another 4 years to 10 years of education he needs, or what all of his expenses. And hey, my salary, you want to get at least sometimes up to 30 times your salary, because that kid still needs. I have $1 million term policy in addition to my other permanent policies that I pay $100 a month on. Because if something happens to me, I want my children to be set. I don't want them struggling.
Or taking on your financial burden.
Thank you, because guess what? Mommy has bills. Mommy has credit cards. She has all, whatever. I don't want them to struggle and have to worry about, okay, we can keep our house, we can keep the condos, we can keep the cars or whatever. They can pay it off and keep it. And they don't have to miss a beat in their life. Of course, they'll miss me, but they don't have to miss a beat financially. And that, that's where the temporary need comes in. And then you have your permanent policy. Your permanent policy, that's your really true investment. That's your real asset right there because it's growing money for you. I may need to use some of that money to help with a business. I may need some of that money to help Miles with education. I can borrow against those policies, or I could just take the money out. It's my money. So, I don't have to worry about, paying it back or anything like that. Those are the whole life policies. And then you have your universal life policies, which have an investment component attached to them. Most whole life policies are guaranteed anywhere from 2 to 4%, depending on the life insurance carrier that you choose. Now, the universal life policies, they're different ones. Me, because I'm not securities licensed just yet, so I only deal with index, which are fixed index, the universal life and fixed index annuities. Those are the ones that have like the guarantee fixed percentage that they grow at, interest rate that they grow at. So they deal with the S&P 500 or whatever investment vehicle that they choose to. They gamble with a little bit with the premiums that you pay for the ULs. So those are the different types of policy, and as well as annuity. Hey, that's another great thing for having your kids. That's a great retirement thing right there to have set aside versus having. And then the other thing is what I wanted to say is people always say, "Oh, I have insurance on my job." Yeah. Okay, your job is only insuring you for what your salary is, maybe up to 3 times your salary. So if you make 30,000. Your job will give your family 90,000 maybe, but at the same time, that's still not enough to take care of your kids, and you still owe 150,000 in a mortgage. Right. I mean, your kids are still going to lose the home. They're still going to lose all these things, and they may not even get a chance to go to college. You haven't set a trust up or a will in place.
And most of the times they'll blow it.
That's
then, well, aside from that, though. Jobs are temporary.
Yes.
So what happens is as soon as you leave that job or you get laid off, then there goes that $90,000 insurance policy, unless you're able to get with another job that will.
And you've developed high blood pressure. Wait.
Yeah.
While you at that job, you develop diabetes and high blood pressure
from the stress,
or you may have had a stroke while you at that job, and then that job lets you go. Guess what?
You're now
rated,
non-insured.
You can be uninsurable or rated, which means the premiums are up the wazoo, right, trying to get new insurance. Whereas it's all, to me, having life insurance is something that's controllable. You can't control your 401k. You can't pretty much control any of those job benefits. I mean, and that's just the truth about it. And when you sit down with your benefits person, the benefits person works for your employer, not you. You should have your own financial planner, your own financial advisor, your own financial rep who looks at your snapshot that helps you become better, not you better for the job. Because they looking out for the job, for the employer. That's what the benefit specialist at your job do. So I try to explain that to people, when it comes to thinking about insurance. And then, there are different types and they do different things, but at the same time, it's all about family protection. It's all about legacy protection. It's all about wealth building, generational wealth. Why not leave an inheritance?
So what about the people, and I've heard this before, so what about the people who say, you know what, when I leave here, that's it. I just want to be gone. I don't care about nobody getting nothing. I'm just going to be out of here. So what do you say to those individuals in terms of still needing some type of wealth building, at least for themselves? So what type of products are out there for that individual to start doing some saving, to start doing some investing? And the reason why, life insurance policies, especially whole life, is good for individuals who, other than that policy, probably would never save $1 or save a dime. So what about, those individuals? It's all about me, and when I leave, that's it. what would you tell them in terms of their needs for life insurance?
Well, if they're just trying to get there's products out there like called final expense products. As Granny say, burial insurance. They may go up to 25,000. They may go up to 35,000, depending on and you just want your family to at least be able to put you away nice and neat. You can buy as low as 2,500. Cremate me or whatever they want to do or whatever. I mean, those policies most of the time they are, I say they are permanent policies. They are whole life policies. They do grow interest, just like a regular whole life policy. It's just that the death benefit isn't as high as you would buy like a regular life insurance policy, 50,000 and above. So there's the final expense for people who just want to take care of their family expenses.
You know what, you bring up a really important point in terms of final expenses. I don't think most people, unless you have had the experience of having to bury a loved one, I don't think most people really understand the concept and the financial burden that comes just with final expenses. I know I think it's been about 7 years now, we had to bury our uncle because he didn't have insurance. And I was blown away of the cost of the final expenses. I mean, they range anywhere, and this is just if you want to go like a low budget service, anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000.
Yeah, well, my mom like I said, my mom's been in insurance since forever and in financial services. Right now, she's been in the funeral business now like almost 30 years. So she keeps me abreast of like how much funerals and stuff cost. I know even burying your loved one now, it can go up to at least 15,000 to put someone away. Caskets cost, the burial plot, which is a separate fee. You do want to get a headstone for that loved one. All of these things are final expenses. And just, oh my goodness, it can be up to 15,000.
So much stress and anxiety in the family. I have seen families torn apart because when it comes to, we call it in our community, passing the hat.
Well, now it's GoFundMe.
Now it's GoFundMe.
Let me cast my care on the community and make them responsible. My loved one when it is not. Yeah. It is not.
But families have gotten into fights, into arguments. A lot of families like, ooh, don't look this way. I know he didn't have no insurance, but don't look over here at me. I don't have no money. I ain't gonna contribute nothing. And it's just true. It does happen. I've seen it happen in my family.
My grandmother, who is alive and well right now, helped me bury my other grandmother, the one that passed away. So my grandmother had a life insurance policy, but guess what? It wasn't the right one. And that's what's important. And like I said, her whole situation is what made me know I gotta educate. I gotta talk to people about this. I gotta let them know, look, take care of your stuff.
Right.
Take care of your mama. Take care of your dad. Take care of your grandmama and your granddad. They took care of you. Right. It's not fair. It's not fair that even though, when you're older, like even my grandmother right now, she's on a fixed income. And at the same time, when I got into insurance, the first thing I did was look at her policies. Granny, let me make sure you straight. Let me look at your policies. Let me see, is there any cash value in these policies? Let's get you a paid up policy. You ain't got to pay no more premiums. There's a such thing as getting a paid up life insurance policy. You do not have to pay on a life insurance policy over 20 years. You can decide to say, okay, I can get a 20 pay. You can get you a $25,000 policy and pay on it for 20 years and it's a done deal. No more premiums, and put it in a safe and there it is.
And it's done.
So, there are so many different options. You do not have to pay on life insurance for forever. That's a myth right there. Life insurance is not just for old people. That's a myth. I'm young. I don't need life insurance. Do I need a family It doesn't matter if you have a family or not. You still gonna die one day, so you do need life insurance. So I mean, people can sit up and have the excuses all day long about why they don't need life insurance. To me, it's being selfish. It's selfish. That's all it is. It's just being selfish because that means you don't care. You don't care about your kids. You don't care about your loved ones. Bury me in the backyard. You stupid.
Right.
You sound stupid. I'm sorry. You just sound stupid because it's selfish. And all it takes is to sit down with someone and ask the questions. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of times in our community, agents have put a bad taste in our community because they have not done our people right as far as explaining to them what their life insurance policy can do for them. Life insurance, there are living benefits when it comes to a life insurance policy also. The policies that I deal with as far as for my clients, they come with, you have the accelerated death benefit rider, you have terminal illness rider, you have chronic illness rider. Like say for instance, if you had $100,000 policy with my company, you developed a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, the insurance company would advance you 50% of that policy to deal with treatment, to help you, get well, or living benefits are what they're called. So life insurance is for the living. It's not just for if you die. You can use that. It's your money. You can use it to buy a car for your kid. You can use it to fix the car. You could use it to fix your home. You can use that. That's your money. And I mean, I have clients who have taken money out of their policies to help with their businesses, to do things around their home, instead of getting a home equity loan or whatever that's at 18% or however much it is through your bank. Use your life insurance policy. You got money in it. I mean, it's for the living. It's not necessarily if I die, I'm leaving all this money for people. It's to help you. It's a safety vehicle for your money now.
So let's say an individual, how does someone know if they have the right type of policy? If it's enough, if it's not enough, is there a rule of thumb, or what is the process to really begin to assess? Because you do have individuals who have bought into life insurance policies and they may not be happy with those policies, or they may need more. They may have bought into a life insurance policy 20 years ago and now their needs have changed. So what would you recommend for those individuals?
Well, one thing I always tell my clients, you need to actually contact your financial rep or whoever has your life insurance, because a lot of times people sell policies to people and those agents move on to other companies, or they never reach back to the people that they sat down with to write the policy with or whatever. And to me, annual policy reviews are very important. Just think, okay, I'm married, something may have happened, I may have had a child. So guess what? That means my need has changed.
Right.
I need to get another policy because I have another person to add to my legacy. Or my husband may pass away. I need to change. That means I need to change the beneficiary on my stuff because he's not here no more. So that means I need to get a beneficiary change. You need to hold your agent, your insurance agent, your financial advisor, your financial rep accountable. When they sell your policy, hold them accountable. If they never come back to you, it's a problem. If you never receive anything from them personally, it's a problem. You need to get you a new person because it's a need. Your life changes. Getting married, buying a new home, those are things that change. So you need to have you need to have an annual review of all of your insurances, whether it's your homeowners, your car insurance, and your life insurance. Yeah, because things change.
Right. So for individuals who know that, things have changed and they are listening in and they can't find an agent or need an agent, where would you suggest they go? Just to provide some information about what you do, LaShondra, as
Mhm.
well as if they are interested in working with you on a one-on-one basis, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, I am a financial services rep with the Heartland Group, which is one of the top financial firms in the city of Chicago, and we're in Michigan as well. I'm licensed in several states. So I just actually recently did a life insurance tour. So I'll be going to Michigan and back to Mississippi next week because I have clients there. But my firm is the Heartland Group, and my team is amazing there. We have some of the best financial advisors in the country, and we're able to help. So I mean, if they want to reach out to me personally and learn more about the Association of Financial Mommies, you can go to www.financialmommies.com. You can send me an email to info@financialmommies.com, or you can give me a call at my number, which is 708-359-8841. I'm always open to sitting down with new people every day.
And
It's
is there a
important.
fee or charge for
No,
you to
free.
reevaluate?
Nope.
Awesome.
I do free needs analysis, of course, free annual reviews for my clients. Um, those things are important to me. They're priceless to me, actually. Dealing with my clients is priceless. Me being on this show with you is priceless.
Oh, thank you.
And there's just no number I can put on helping people, period.
Absolutely. So tell me about any upcoming events that you may have going on with financial mommies, any classes, any workshops for the
Mhm.
listeners if they do want to come and just get some more general information about wealth building, about insurance products and services, etc.
Okay. Well, I do one-on-one financial coaching, which is no problem, where I help you sit down and go all over all of your financial goals. We talk about income, how I can help you profit each year, where you can deviate, how to budget. I do all of those. I do financial literacy workshops. I deal with the babies. I talk to daycare centers all the way up to different groups of women or whatever.
So tell us a little bit about financial literacy workshops.
Oh, wow. A lot of my girlfriends are teachers. So they've asked me to come and talk to their students. So this past year, oh my goodness, I was in so many daycares this past year and in a few high schools, I was so amazing. I was even able to help out at the Urban League with their entrepreneurship program with the kids. So just showing them how to budget. And I talked to, oh my goodness, I spoke with over 300 kids for that joined the CHA Youth Employment Program, to show them, like, when you get your paychecks, what you can do with it versus going out buying the Jordans. I talked to them about thinking about investing in stocks and, how to diversify their portfolios. I'm trying to get them those words that they can start thinking about. You penetrate the kids, their mind, and then they go home. I take the children banks. I teach them the 20% rule. You tell your mommies they got to put 20% in these banks for you, to help save money for you. And when they're 5 years old, and my business is amazing because I'm able to touch so many single mothers. Just this past Christmas, the moms through the Association of Financial Mommies, I purchased gift certificates from your wellness center to give to some of my single moms, which I know I helped them budget. And just as a gift from the Association of Financial Mommies, just to give them, a massage where they could come to your wellness clinic and get yoga classes or do whatever, because they deserve it. To me, when I see a mother putting her baby first and the financial status of her kids and the legacy first, oh, it's so heartwarming to me. I just love it. And I don't mind. It's nothing, to give when I see that they're giving their families. if God put me here to do that. So I just feel like that's my way of giving back, to do that. So
Absolutely.
I love doing that. So as far as like the literacy workshops, I do it with the parents and the daycares. I do it with the high school kids, showing them the different things about college budgeting. I show them about how to build their credit with the secure cards, as well as what cards going into college you should get. Not too many. I show them where to look for their credit reports. I do all of that just to get them financially stable and ready for the world. It's missing. I teach them about economics, the pre-economics, the real world economics, coming from an entrepreneur, and letting them know, look, you don't have to go to school just to work for someone.
Right.
Go to school and be your own boss. Of course, everyone's not equipped to become a business owner, but at the same time, it's nothing wrong with owning your home and different things like that. Just owning your life, period.
Yeah. So listeners, please reach out to LaShondra if you want her to come out and speak to one of your organizations, to your schools, and just share knowledge and information about financial wellness. I think that is
Exactly.
awesome that you do that. And I couldn't agree with you more that it really does start with the children, and children
does.
understanding the value of a dollar,
Yeah.
and children understanding how to save and how to
It's
invest
financial
and how
mommies.
to balance a checkbook.
Yes, it's important.
It's very important.
The kids, they love it. And I was like, just to see the look, like I had spoke to a group of little youngsters, and it was so funny. I had come back, and the little girl's mom, she came up to me and she was like, "You must be LaShondra." She said, "My daughter, all she talks about is the lady that gave me the bank, mommy, the lady that gave me the bank." She said, "You have to put this money in the bank. You got to put our money in the bank." And it was so funny. And she instantly sat down with me. I got her on budget, and she's doing super well. Just learning where to put your money. If you don't, I mean, hey, if you don't know where your money going, you don't know where you going.
You don't know where you're going. And you can't accumulate wealth. It takes time, but it also takes a commitment for you to do it.
Discipline and wanting to do better.
And wanting to do better. I remember this statistic, which still holds true today, that if you are 25 years old and you put $100 a month, that's it, $100 a month up until the age of, I think it was 50 or 55, you would be a millionaire.
Yes, you would.
You would be a millionaire.
Even right now, my daughter, I put her on, she on course right now. My baby's 21. She's 21, but she's going to be a millionaire at 45.
See? And I'm 47, so I would love to be a millionaire at 45. And when you're 25, you think, oh, that's so long away. It is not. Yes. I still remember 25 like it was yesterday. It comes so very fast. So that's why it's so very important to start with the baby steps, putting away a little bit on a regular basis. You would be surprised at how much wealth you could accumulate.
I mean, it's the compounded interest, and it's just, man, of course, insurance is something that's not is intangible. You can't touch it. But at the same time, just like you use that debit card every day, those things are liabilities. When you have a credit card, the interest with a credit card goes to the creditor. The interest from
the banks get it.
The banks get it. But when you have a life insurance policy, the interest for that life insurance policy go where, baby? It goes to you. It don't go nowhere. It go to you. That's your money. Interest from credit cards go to the bank. Out the window. That's a liability. Life insurance is an asset. That's your interest. That's your money. And I don't understand. Some people will see it, some won't. But I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't pressure people about it. It is what it is. Like I tell anyone, you have a 21-year-old and they're walking around here with Jordans or whatever, nothing wrong with that. You reward your children. You buy them whatever you choose. No one can tell you where to spend your money. But at the same time, that kid will respect you even more if you taught them how to spend the money better.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter not in debt at 21.
Mm-hmm.
She don't have a bunch of credit card debt because I refuse to allow her to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, us as
To
parents,
fall into the
thank
trap.
you.
And it's
When
a
you a
trap.
mom, yeah, it
And
is.
it's a
When you a
trap.
mom, you gotta set the goals for your kids.
Right.
You run that household. You the mother. You the father. You're supposed to do it. You know, you can't sit up there and let your kid run you and spend your money you work hard for. Why? It's backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Your great granddaddy wasn't letting that happen in his household.
That's right. You have to set the standards and you have to educate,
Yes.
inform, teach. But you yourself have to get that knowledge first to impede it upon them.
Yeah. And the thing is though too, Kim, I don't talk to people about things I don't know or that I don't experience personally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mother. I'm a single mom. I have a son and a daughter. So the things that I teach people are things that I implement at my own home.
That's right.
You know, I've been a business owner all my life, so I can't do anything but speak on experiences. I can't make up stuff. I can only tell you the outcomes, whether they be good or bad.
Right.
But you learn from that stuff in order for you to do better, and you teach your children to do better.
Absolutely. So you have to get the knowledge and the information and use your resources.
Yes.
We have LaShondra here. We have all types of resources out there so you don't have to feel like you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the information. It's there, it's waiting, it's ready, and it's available to you.
Mm-hmm.
So any last minute thoughts, words, comments, anything you want to leave your audience with?
Well, one thing I try to tell people is when I first sit down with them, get a notebook. Start tracking your spending. Just do it, even if it's for a week. Do it for a month. Just write down how much money you spend out. That way you know how much money you got coming in your home and what you're throwing away. And then you sit back and then you think about it. Well, I didn't have to spend here. I didn't have to spend there. You're in control of your financial situation. Nobody else is.
That's correct.
Take control of it. You the boss. If you're going to be the boss and talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. Like I tell anybody, people who are bosses, they write checks. They pay the bills. You're not a boss unless you put your own money up.
That's the truth.
And that's just it. You got to have it. Why not have an emergency fund? Your car could break down. Just like now, I see people, furnaces are going out. If you had a life insurance policy or something like that, you might need $600 out of it. There it is. Call the insurance company. I need you to give me, send me $600 of my cash value. Fix your furnace.
I can tell you now, I would not be a business owner today if it wasn't for the money I saved and invested
Testimony.
over the years.
Testimony.
And that's the truth.
Yes.
That is the truth. It's having those money, having that liquid reserve, having it available from investing, saving and investing since I was 20 years old. Since I learned and knew the concepts and principles of doing that. I started practicing what I preached. And now at 47, it has afforded me the opportunity to start my own business.
Amen. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy.
I'm a testimony.
It helps. Life insurance for the living.
That's right. So with that said, I would like to thank you, my love, for joining us. It was an amazing show, amazing experience. LaShondra's information, we'll also put it out on our Facebook page so you can get in touch with her. And as we're signing off, I do want to share with you some amazing workshops that we're going to do this weekend at the Journey to Wholeness Center. And as always, you can log on to our website for the whole list of workshops. We're really focusing this month on New Year, New You for 2017. So tomorrow, Saturday, we're kicking that off at 11 a.m. with a workshop about setting SMART goals for 2017. So making sure that you have the foundational goals, you're setting goals based upon things that you want to do aspirations, intentions that you want to set for 2017. So that workshop is at 11 a.m. And then at 2 p.m., we're going to have a health conscious workshop. What is the alkaline diet? So a lot of people have been hearing a lot of buzzwords about alkaline, but this workshop will really talk to you about what it is and how you can incorporate it into your life. On Sunday, January 8th, we're kicking off 9 a.m. with a beginner's yoga workshop for those individuals who have not tried yoga and you're very interested in trying yoga. So that workshop is at 9 a.m. And then at 12 p.m., we'll have a free guided meditation. So come in and kick off your new year in a place where you can center and focus and experience what it is to meditate and to be still. All of us need that. Then at 1 p.m., we're going to have Chakras 101. So we talk a lot on this show about the energy centers of the body, the chakra system. So tomorrow we're going to get the opportunity to really understand what it's meant when we say we're all energy. And we have to be able to understand those energy centers, attract positive, good energy to ourselves, and be able to block the negative, darker, denser energies away from us. So we're going to talk a lot about that chakra energetic system at 1 p.m. on Sunday. And then at 3 p.m., a very, very special workshop series called Rituals for Prosperity and Abundance. Wow. So how do we begin the rituals? Because what you mentioned is a ritual of writing things down, of saving on a regular basis. So what are some of the rituals for prosperity and abundance that we can incorporate into our lives? That's going to be Sunday, January 8th at 3 p.m. So as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to Journey to Wholeness Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you.